Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, of course, it's a new week, which means we have some more Steel Division League out there for you. We're going to be looking at Comment Les Avant today, actually from the Asia Veteran Division. So, Rang, who do we have to play?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Corbeau as 101st Airborne Division. And on the right-hand side, we have Zagkrag as the 716th Infantry Division.
Sounds good. So first of all, at least me personally, I want to start off today's video by saying a very big congratulations to our French community out there on your recent World Cup victory. I would have liked to have seen a second Blinde games, but Rang outvoted me, and frankly, this was a decent enough match in the first place. But Rang,
We are
Screaming
playing in
Eagles,
France, though, to be fair.
that is true. That is true. So
Like,
I'm
every
not-
map is France. It's always home. It's always home
Yes.
territory.
That's true. So the second Blinde should always win, right?
Exactly. Exactly. All the allies really should win every time, but...
It happens way too much for my liking in the first place, but
Yeah.
all right. But 7/16th, we are going to see a very early Lorraine coming out over here on the eastern side, and against the Screaming Eagles, that's a lot of early arty, I would say.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, 101st, right, means against Screaming Eagles, is that it's all very lightly armored stuff, or, you know, just soft skin targets. That Lorraine is going to be able to dish out a lot of damage. But for Corbeau, that forest really is to his advantage. He has all the CQC infantry, and early on for Zags, he only has like Grenadiers and Osttruppen, which are not good CQC. So he's going to have a very hard time in that forest, infantry to infantry. So I don't know how that's going to route. You're down south, I mean, we got Lorraine here, and it's just, you know, it's just Osttruppen and Grenadier spam from Zags. So that's really all we can do 7/16th early on. And, yeah.
This sounds really quite petty already. I was really hoping to see that Lorraine actually moved to the northwest of its position, by that row of buildings. At that point, we've been able to suppress and will support fire over onto that forest, which, like you said, is going to be a massive, massive position for the Screaming Eagles. They have 4 flame troops going out already.
Yeah, that's a lot of AB engineers. Oh boy, Corbeau always pushes hard and deep when he gets his infantry going. And he always pushes hard as, like, a parachute division, which is pretty damn good, because they're not, like, the most mobile compared to, like, a tank division.
Really had to wish you had given me a break that say that's what she said there, but the moment has passed, and unfortunately that's what we have to make do. Oh, man. So in any case, though, lots and lots of veterancy, of course. The veterancy by itself might be able just to shift the fight over in the Screaming Eagles' favor, even without all the CQC infantry.
Yeah, that's also, like, the big advantage of 101st. At the same time, Zags, even though his infantry aren't as veteran, I mean, he has the Italian dudes later on, which are pretty decent. He does have better infantry overall, as in the late game he had to get reinforcements, where Corbeau's had to make do with what he got in A-phase.
Oh, I like this play. That smoke coming on down.
It's
okay,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just a pack. Had it been a little more, infantry heavy, that might be more terrifying.
Yeah.
And we see the same thing actually happening to the north. This is a really interesting opening. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, this is. I really like the use of smoke, but yeah, the pretty much the forest is going into Corbeau's favor, and yeah, Zag's not having a good time up north.
Jeez.
He's just. I mean, those bloody 101st infantry are deadly. Like AB rifles, stomp Osttruppen and a run. Long range, short range, it doesn't matter. So it's really gonna come.
Yeah, please.
No, it's really going to come down to fire support for Zag to try and pin this down. Like, the infantry just got pinned down.
Well, I was going to say, we had that 2 AB rifles and, 2 AB engineers, rather, in the rifles, and that Osttruppen squads. There were 2 of them, and then very quickly became 1 of them. And that guy very quickly found his troops, found all of his buddies kind of taking a nice dirt nap there.
Yeah.
And, an early Mustang as well.
Oh, yeah, I think it just dropped some bombs, yeah. But it's looking pretty good down south for Zags. He's got the Osttruppen spam just making his way. He's going to be capturing his town, which is going to be pretty good. And he has GIG-18s, which are phenomenal infantry support, and they're really going to be the force multiplier in his southern assault.
At long last, though, we are also going to see the Lorraine aim to the north, and I think, unfortunately, it's just a little bit too late to save his mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we have God view, but of course, at the same time, I still think I would have put, had I taking his early forces here, I definitely would have pushed, I think, that Lorraine a little bit higher up.
Yeah, I definitely would have got in a little bit close. I mean, if you even move it a little bit closer, more towards like the middle east area, you know, just northwest of it, like what 400, 600 meters, that's still a pretty safe spot, and it has much better coverage on north and south.
And even more than that, you know that every infantry-based division is going to be rushing for these trees.
Yeah, but
You have to
especially
know that.
101st.
Exactly, exactly. So just to me, with the whole idea of you just to overload like crazy, yeah, we see that one of the lone vehicles coming on out right now, that M22. It's not that terrifying.
No, but you know, a tank's a tank when there's nothing else to really stop it. Down south we do have the Char B2, or the Panzer B2, so that's going to be a damn good force multiplier. And also, considering it's fighting against 101st, their main AT gun really is the 37 mils, which is going to have a bit of trouble penetrating the quote-unquote thick skin of that Char B1. Or I keep calling it Char, but Panzer B2.
White. So, I don't know, there's that 57 mil up north.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that still is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
But of course, you take that out, and they don't have a whole lot of other AT for Phase A.
Yeah, up north at 57 mil is pretty much going to be completely worthless. This doesn't know AT targets to shoot. It's just all strooping. I mean, neither side is really like heavy on tanks. It's really going to just come down to infantry and support gunfights. Yeah.
All the same, you don't bring any kind of tanks to a fight with airborne rifles. You just don't. I mean, the thing that I always feel like I'm always surprised we don't see more of the 101st.
Mm-hmm.
Because the AD rifles, like you said, they're so well rounded. And yes, I realize they come at a premium, but Zooks and LMGs and rifles and heck, even those Thompsons, it's absolutely terrifying.
It's such a good. I love the ABNG or AB rifles. It's like it is such a well-rounded unit. It's nice to have with infantry in it. It can use in pretty much any scenario, and it's going to be somewhat decent at. You know, you can just throw them everywhere.
Of course, the drawback is going to come, I think, later on to Phase B.
Yeah.
But you take that early territory, which he's doing, and doing rather well.
Mm-hmm.
And good lord, he should be just fine.
Yeah, you just bite on holders 101st. You get, you know, the good ground early on, and then you just try to hold on for the rest of the match and try not to lose too many guys. And he's keeping his guys in the forest alive. He's not pushing past the forest. He doesn't need to. He's still getting that nice plus 1 point advantage. So if you can keep those guys in the forest alive, it's definitely going to be, you know, a rather big barrier for Zags to actually be able to move up.
Well, we can see, was it the Flak 36 coming in now? Is it, yeah, Flak 36 coming in to finally keep that Mustang away.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question would be, what's the counterplay, the M22? More M22s coming in.
Just AT guns. You can get the nice cheap AT guns as 7/16.
No. Let me rephrase. Going to push back maybe that Flak 36. Like, he does know that the Panzer P2's in the area, but that Command M22 will try to bolster that southern side of the map.
Oh yeah. The M22's gonna have a pretty tough time dealing with the Panzer B2, because the Panzer B2 still has a 75mm howitzer, which that alone is actually enough to sometimes kill that little locust. So I really like what Zag's doing. He's getting pushed pretty heavy up north, but he's sort of like a decent defensive line now, and he's trying to make some ground down south. So, you know, he's lost some ground, but he's definitely going to try and take some back. If he can capture that tower, that would be fantastic. The AB engineer squad in there is going to make it a bit tough. I mean, you got the Panzer B2 and AG-18 for support, but you're still going to have to pretty much throw Sacrifice or Ostroop in to try and, you know, get him to shoot.
That is a pretty fair assessment. I always want to see if the Ostrooping can actually take out a truck just with their rifles. It doesn't happen very often. It does once in a very long while. Yeah,
that's more of a Fauci good job, right? Yeah.
True. That is true. Like you said, though, we are still sitting on a 54-46. The Allies are up almost about 400 points here. And, Pac 37 is going to start to engage that Locust. And he didn't quite call the Exterminators, but the Orkin man is still in the house.
Yeah.
Orkin, wait, do they have the company up in Canada? It's Exterminator down here. I don't know about you guys.
I honestly don't know. I've never needed to exterminate anything yet.
Oh, man. You know what? I would make some very, very poor political jokes, but I'll just wait with that for right now.
Just leave it vague. Everyone can figure it out.
That's true. That's true. I can also hide behind the fact that I didn't actually say anything.
Exactly, you know. That's the best type of jokes.
Second Lorraine is coming out, and that's a good call. One Lorraine is down to about 2/3 of his actual ammo. Yeah. Like you said, down in the south, though, B2 is slowly redeploying, maybe to theoretically get some kind of push onto that locust.
Yeah.
That's an awful long way he's got to go, and frankly, that locust has just it will run circles around him.
Exactly. That Panzer B2, it's like 18 kilometers an hour off road, which is infantry speed. So, yeah, it's like infantry speed. So yeah, it's pretty bloody slow in getting around. That's something you definitely want to keep on the road.
Ooh, Pack 37 does go and damage the locust. I think it loses tracks and wheels.
There we go.
And loses its life a couple shots later. So that Pack 37 is surprisingly effective.
Yeah, I mean those locusts aren't, you know, they're pretty much the bare minimum of a tank. So that Pack 37 can easily engage it, and because the locust doesn't have like barely any HE damage, you know, the Pack 37 can just sit and just keep pounding shots.
There was a misclick for the Lorraine that almost sent it right into the view of that 57 mil, but he doesn't realize at the last second.
That would have been bad. That would have been bad. I really like his liberal use of Lorraines. Because for 716, you get a lot of players getting like the regular artillery, but honestly, the Lorraines are like the best artillery piece you can get for 716. As yes, they have shorter range compared to the regular field howitzers, but they're mobile, so you can redeploy them.
Swiftly, you can redeploy them.
Yeah, they have armor, so they're not like counter-batteried as hard compared to like a static artillery piece. And it does a really big kaboom, as you can see. I mean, it was just some pretty big kabooms on that 57mm, and this already forced them to fall back after just like one barrage.
Well, the nice thing about that too is I had the Flak 36 here sitting in close support, and honestly, if you move that Flak 36 just up next to that, I would say that little barn with the turret. Oh no, the windmill there. That would actually might even allow him to push back those ABs inside that forest, and with it being Phase B right now, 7/16 can really start to affect some real change in the north.
If for Zag, he just needs to get the IG-18s, the flat guns, the AT guns, just all the static, heavy weaponry to help him do his pushes, because that's really what he needs. I mean, the forest is still going to be an absolute firefight, as quite literally the AB engineers is just going to burn him when they get in range. So he really needs something, hopefully get some pioneers and B-phase to try and rout them out.
Did that Thunderbolt get his bombs off, or no? It's down to the south there.
I did not see.
Okay, because I will say there was an ME-109 that got pulled back at the last second as two more 51 Mustangs came on in. So the Allies are not keen to lose their air advantage, such as it is.
Yeah. It's quite a shame for Zag. He hasn't managed to been able to really exploit his southern push. He's gotten bogged down now. And, I mean, he's almost captured that town. It's just that one EB engineers here, and he just needs to move up some infantry and hopefully just, you know, finally support them array with the Panzer B2. But now he's, you know, he's putting much more pressure on the northern side.
He is, but he's also sacrificing some of his lighter units down here. Like, he's going to lose this IG-18 for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this Flak 36 might be slightly redeploying. He's still not going to be able to see it. In fact, ooh, lucky. Okay, never mind, it's dead. All right, Jim. Cool. Now, did I see some Freiwillige coming on in? Maybe I did.
Oh, the Italian dudes.
Yes.
Those might be pioneers because they don't have veterancy.
That is, yeah, you're right. You're right. I expect to probably see an Opel Blitz pretty darn soon as this Lorraines begin to run out of ammunition.
Yep.
Of course, it hasn't happened just yet. And the AB engineers are waiting for, I think, some fresh meat to come on in.
Exactly. It's pretty much just an absolute meat grinder in that forest. It's going to come down to using those Lorraines and just try to blind fire everywhere to keep those AB engineers pinned so he can rush his infantry up. Oh, a bit of a furball. That Messerschmitt's buggered. Oh no, that's the AA. That's the AA. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's still.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he's still turning for his life.
Yes, he is. Not sure why he's still trying to engage this. But we do have one foot. Both of them are falling back. Ooh. Maybe if he gets one more quick turn, he can get a kill.
Exactly. Oh no.
Never mind. It's... The Mustang. Time to go.
When you fight 101st, you know, when he like kill one Mustang, two more appear. There's so many Mustangs.
Yeah, very much a Hydra effect, isn't it? Yeah. M22 does trade out with the Pack 37 in the south, but that's a big win, I would say, for Zags.
Yeah. And now he's finally got the town down south under his control, which is that's a pretty big deal. Because if he can set up some stuff around that town, you can kind of, you know, push into middle somewhere efficiently. Oh, there's a Wolverine being coming. Yeah, that Wolverine's going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it would be a pain in the ass, but at the same time, I'd still would rather have that lower town the way that it is.
Yeah.
Frankly, and you can play hide and seek pretty darn easily. That B2 doesn't have to expose himself nearly at all.
You just keep it hidden and wait for the Wolverine to get in closer, and just hopefully maybe you can pen it. But no, he's going on the offense here. He's going to be trying to flank around onto his northern side and envelop it, which is actually a pretty good strategy. But still, there's like 4 AB engineer squads in there, and it's just a scary thought of going into that forest.
Well, there comes the Opal Blitz. That's a good call there. And that other Lorraine is redeploying a little bit further forward, I think, just to get that fire out on the forest. I'm a little surprised that these Northern Osttroopen are not shifting a little more aggressively.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that Osttroopen, if they get killed or whatever, you just keep moving them up. They're there to spot stuff. I mean, sort of. That's their role. That's their job in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. Okay, ground fire will force back the Mustang, but, you know, who cares? He did exactly what he needed to. He killed that ME-109, which means it ain't gonna be pretty. And this AB leader is the only thing that's gonna keep these engineers from just kind of blanket surrendering.
Yeah. Now, if he can keep those ABNGs pinned down, then Russ the Pioneer gets surrender. That's his best way of doing this.
I don't think he's going to surrender, though.
Oh.
Again, the AB leader is right behind it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can still get the satchel charge off, but no, the ABNG is going to fall back.
But it's right on top of him. Wow. Not a single man goes down.
That's pretty embarrassing. Hans needs to, improve his throwing arm.
Well, the Germans didn't play softball. And we are going to see another Pioneer squad go down for really no cost whatsoever, but he has identified another strong point in terms of infantry.
Yeah.
And Fusilier is actually to the north as well. This should be more than enough for him to make that push.
Yeah.
And to start really taking legit territory here.
Yeah, I mean, the Fusilier is... He's now going to be actually pushing up north, which is pretty good. He's got a leader unit here as well. That's going to help out quite a bit. And, yeah, he's going to be exchanging fire, and that AB rifles is pretty buggered.
Worth noting, by the way, we have 2 M10s here now.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty tough to deal with as 7/16th. I mean, he's got the Flak 88, but he's actually using it as an anti-aircraft gun and keeping it all the way back. And he has no AT weaponry to deal with this M10 at long range. So, good luck. Good luck.
But we are going to see a Pioneer Fuhrer as well there to kind of make sure the guys don't surrender wholesale, which I think is a pretty good call.
Yeah.
Call me old-fashioned.
They throw the grenade at the retreating infantry. That's what they do. Yeah. They rave it around like, oh, if you run away, Max, I'll blow you up to bits, or something in German.
You know what? It was shocking there. I felt I could hear the German in my mind.
I've been working on my German impression, as you can tell.
It's brilliant. It's perfect. Yeah. You're on point with that right there.
Thank you. I've been taking impersonations lessons from Sean Connery.
I was going to say, from who? Colonel Klink? Now we are going to see some more glider rifles coming on in, and of course these guys kind of indicate that Corbeau is either tapped for legit infantry or just doesn't want to waste a whole lot of point value in the meantime. Either way, I think actually sending in the human wave tactics of glider rifles is actually a very good plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Osttroopen spam. Glider rifles pretty much fulfills the same role. But a glider rifle is slightly better at the job in terms of just taking shots, because they're like a trope-man squadron, which is pretty good. But, yeah, it's really, just throwing them in, because Corbeau's going to be running out of stuff eventually in this match.
Yeah, and frankly, when you have a single Osttroopen holding up an entire attack, you feel like it's like Saving Private Ryan there for a moment. Thunderbolt's going to get shots down over onto this Pack 40, who's desperately trying to sneak forward.
Survives.
He's not going to get there.
But he knows the Pack 40's here now, so...
So many Lorraines. Oh my gosh. I've never met so many women named it. 3 Lorraines. I think he's pretty much tapped out on those now, shouldn't it be?
I think he can probably get a few more, to be honest. I think Zag has just gone complete Lorraine. Hopefully he has some Neighbor Earthers in his deck. I think he can get Neighbors as 7/16th. Don't quote me on that.
That sounds about right. That sounds right. I mean, it would make sense.
It would make sense.
super slow, can shoot really far.
Yeah, Neighbor Earthers are great. You can solve every problem with Neighbor Earther. But like I said, I'm really happy that he's doing Lorraine spam and not getting like regular like static guns. 'Cause honestly, in this meta, static artillery guns are just not really worth it. The mobile stuff is always the better pick.
Oh no, static means death, man. It's always
Exactly.
death.
You just get counter batteried and you're buggered.
Fire and move, stick and move, boys, stick and move.
Yeah.
We are going to see AB engineers moving forward. I think he's trying to get one more kind of cheeky little assault in on these attacking Pios. He's going to be able to do it, but that Pioneer Rifle is there to support.
Mm-hmm.
If his AB leader goes down, that might be pretty hideous.
Yeah, but it does not seem to be the case with AB
No, it
engineers.
doesn't.
Getting an important flame on.
Pioneer Fura tossing on out that grenade is one chance at victory. He will not get it. And the second foray into the forests goes the way of the first.
Yeah, it's tough rooting out 101st inside of the forest. Absolutely tough. So it always has been. You know, when the game first came out, they were like AB engineers were just broken when they were inside the forest. They're a bit better now in terms of balance, but they're still very strong, rightfully so.
I would say relatively, I imagine,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah. I mean, 101st and Forest is like bread and butter. It's like Pangelair and Show.
Like cookies and milk.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, this match is pretty like standard Corbeau play because he hasn't got a single artillery piece out. And I think,
Yes.
I mean, this is standard Corbeau. I think when he makes a deck, he just ignores the artillery section, or it's just not aware that it actually exists. And usually, like the best way to beat 7/16th is artillery spam. So Corbeau, I mean, because of artillery against 7/16th, you know, it's all just soft targets, even just those crappy howitzers, or heck, some naval off-map that you could potentially get as 101st. Just deal so much damage against these infantry blobs that Zag brings up. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Corbeau deals with that. It's still doing pretty well. He's still in the lead, but he's not getting any points at the moment. And it's only like 600 points, which is like 10 minutes of plus run. So you can catch up to that pretty easily.
Here's my thought though. At the same time, while he may not go the classic route that they got to 7/16th, 101st doesn't have a lot of mobile artillery. So if anything, he's going to get outshot by the Lorraines.
Fair point. Yeah, it's really just see like the like 75 and you get like 105mm howitzers too, which are all pretty static. So yes, in that scenario, you do get shot out by a Lorraines if they do manage to get in close. But heck, not even like a naval off map yet, because that naval off map is always deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is particularly true.
Yeah.
Little Mr. Binkley there is going to outflank this last little squad of Osttroopers inside the forests. But outside of that, the Germans actually might be able to take the forest.
Yeah, it's quite funny how the roles is reversed, where the Germans are actually doing pretty good in this forest era. You know, they have lost the south rather hard, which is a bit of a shame. We definitely want to get maybe an Osttrooper all the way in the far south just to, you know, hold some territory there. But it's going to be interesting to see how Zag can, you know, push back and try and pull this off. Because the problem with 7/16th, and what makes it arguably like a terrible division in my mind, is that it's just so slow and so mobile. It's really hard to push.
So immobile, you were saying,
Immobile,
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
It's very hard to push.
Friendly fire. But the AB leader gets there just perfectly in time.
That's pretty
He's
funny.
stupidly pinned, but at least he
Surrendered.
gets right in time.
Surrendered by your own artillery piece.
And geez.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, artillery is just firing from all cylinders here. There is that one Sherman in the north, the M4DD, and that's a little bit difficult to deal with right at the moment.
Yeah. And also, with 7/16th, you don't really get proper tanks. It's all just 1940s French armory, essentially. He can get some mortars, which are always, you know, nice. But it's really... And honestly, mortars on this map, mortar spam would be on point, as it's just open enough to really use them efficiently. But no, he's getting more Panzer B2s around. Like, that's not going to help against a Sherman.
I think we might finally see. I think we might finally see a dead AB engineer squad. And dear God, it's like hell on earth going down there.
Yeah.
Ooh, AB leader gets pinned, which means that suddenly all the engineers now have the opportunity to just surrender like crazy, and we're going to see the beginnings of a collapse in that area.
Yeah, if he can knock out those two squads, and he's going to be doing pretty good. And the other engineer squads are pretty low in ammunition. So, I mean, there's also regular engineers as well.
Yeah,
these satchel
but
charges,
the AB
but
engineers
it's better.
are real terrors.
Yeah, AB engineers are... They're lit.
Oh, they know how to light a fire or two.
Yeah. Okay, Pioneer's coming in, but... Even if you're highly stressed out, it's not hard to miss with a flamethrower.
But I still don't want to be the guy that's at the receiving end of all that artillery fire. Dear God.
I really good use of Lorraine's. I'm giving Zag my 2 thumbs up for that. And I'm so happy that he's doing that and not static artillery, because that's always like the fallacy that every 716 player falls into. Because you get like a lot of them per card, so it makes sense. Right, not. But the Lorraine's such a better choice in the vast majority of circumstances, especially in a 1v1.
Now, with the exchange rate, how does that work out? 2 thumbs Canadian converting to, you know, some Asian currency?
I think 2 thumbs Canadian, if we were to convert it to US dollars, is which I'm most. Or US thumbs, I'd say. I think that's like 1.6 thumbs, maybe, or
1.6 thumbs. Oh, hey, that, you know, that does still round up to 2 thumbs. That's still pretty good. That's a solid rating right there.
I think that's a pretty good thumb-to-thumb ratio.
A thumb to fun? I say thumb to fun. I think we're looking at a very different area there. We do have that off-map already is down on the lower side of the map for the Les Américains.
Yeah, the only artillery Corbeau actually touch.
Well, he wants to make it big.
Exactly. Go big or go home.
Oh, geez. That Flak 41's going to get bombed.
Yeah.
Okay. Surprisingly enough, still is just fine. And the Freiwillige are on the map to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
They're not reversing that entire madness, but it's doing a little bit better.
I got an interest in a lot of hidden stat thing I want to say of you, Khan. You probably find this pretty interesting.
Okay.
So with anti-aircraft units, such as like the flak guns and whatnot, they take 50% less damage from air units compared to regular ground units. But with the flak 88, right, and other like anti-aircraft units, to balance that, they take 50% more damage and suppression from ground units.
I suppose that kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Maybe you know the airplanes flying over as they're shooting down at them are like, wait a second, are you sure that's an anti-aircraft gun? It looks more like a tree, considering how big that barrel is. Meanwhile, the guys on the ground are like, hey guys, that's a gun. How do you know? Well, it's the size of our house.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense.
I mean,
see that.
All you're doing, like the Call of Duty games, is like blow up flak 88 whenever you're doing Normandy campaign.
Yeah,
it's just like standard procedure. It's like there's always like every other mission you're blowing up some sort of flak 88.
Well, that's the thing that you have to ask yourself the question is, okay, I didn't think they would have that many there in the first place. M4 goes down the north, by the way, courtesy of a true Pack 43. Ooh, and 2 Pioneers get taken out by a single bombing run. But Call of Duty, yeah, and they make them sound like there's all they have ever is just 88s. There are no pack guns that are smaller than an 88. Yeah, it's a pack gun, it's
88s and Tigers all day, every day. Actually, that was the entire German army in 1944.
No wonder we were terrified of them.
Yeah, got another 88 being brought in down south. Is that 380? That's 388 down south. That's a lot of kaboomy.
There's a B2 down to the south that got bailed out. Is he in range? No, he's not in range of those M10s, but he's in range of that Sherman.
Yeah.
Internal fragments does push back one of those M10s, and maybe get one more shot off before death.
Oh, I think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, especially the driver being knocked out.
Yeah.
Oh no, he loses sight.
Did he lose?
Fusilier going down makes him lose the sight there, I think.
Oh,
or
damn.
Did he just reattach over to... Oh, never mind. Sherman does take down the Char B down to the south, and...
Yeah, it's not looking good.
That's 4 flaks.
That's a...
I thought there was one to the north as well. Yeah, there's one to the north. Yep, it's a 4. There's 4 of them. Good God.
That's a lot. I mean, the 716, so it's like... It's pretty much like your only effective play later on is just the flak spam. But that's a lot of flak guns. I mean, we don't want to give him too much flak, yo.
Yep. I would laugh at that one, but at that point, I was trying to think of a nice little pun in the return. I was like, they can't all be singers. Unfortunately, my train of thought took a nosedive. And and honestly, that's only funny because it just makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing for me is that the Flak 88s tend to be massive infantry killers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I really like using Flak 88s whenever I get the chance, because it's like, awesome! It's an anti-aircraft unit, an anti-tank unit, and an anti-infantry unit, all in one. You know? I feel like I'm getting so much bang for my buck, and it usually gets, like, you know, pinned down by artillery immediately, because it, you know, takes 50% more damage from ground targets, and it's such a priority target. I never really end up using it that much. Effectively.
Well, and we're going to see that happening right about now.
Yeah.
The funny thing for me is in the tiny force down to the south, too, we have this, like, you know, Soviet-style wave of glider rifles. Just like, okay, guys, we're going to wait until our artillery hits, and then we're going to go.
That's perfect plan, and he's got them on hold fire. And, yeah. I mean, still like the other Flak 88 and AA guns behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But still, you know, just, might as well charge.
One shot took out the 88. That was a full-strength 88.
Yep. Don't mess with naval artillery.
Man. But the Lorraines seem like they know what's going on. And all of that love and affection showers down from the heavens. They say, do you like the smoke, sir? And they send, we'll send a package of iron cigars your way.
Yeah. They do explode you on arrive for you.
Well, they're gag gifts. They're made by Acme Industries. I do like the Flak Veerlings that are here. Oh no, Furball's gonna be awful. We have Trip Mustangs.
Yeah. Here comes the pain train. Choo choo!
And even if they don't take down the MB-109, which they will not, they can just make ground runs at the 88s. They could pin them for days. The second one goes down.
Yeah. Is he gonna do that, yo? Yes, he is.
I would say he better do that. That makes a lot of sense. Even taking extra damage there, you had the Flak 41 pinned. You're not going to lose something to ground fire.
Mm-hmm. Especially with a Mustang, that thing can just get out of dodge ASAP.
And now look at this, he follows up with the M15. That's a good call.
Exactly, and pins everything down and moves in, you know, the few mobile units that he has to finish the job. And he's got Sherman now, and that's going to pin down an Italian Freiriga, or however you say it. Yeah, he got it a little bit. He got it a little bit too close here. He's kind of exposed himself to Panzerfaust fire. Fortunately for him,
he's going to get one more off too, I think, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. No. Just barely. I always forget it's 150. I always want to say it's 200.
Yeah.
That's a proud 68. Never mind, that's why. And yeah, he's going to lose those guys pretty darn fast because there's no officer, there's no love, and not even the Char B2s can do anything about that. And here I think is where Zagkrag's position just begins to just collapse like a bad flan.
Yeah, it's... yeah, it's just... He banked on all those 88s and static guns, and they all just kind of got killed.
And when all the ground attack fighters are just strafing that poor B1... Wow, he actually makes it out without even taking that much damage. How did he do that?
How did he... That's
so
a good
often.
correction.
So... Yeah, please go for it.
They just die so much.
So often you find those guys who come in and it's like, oh, look, one P-51 Mustang. Okay, that means that guy's going to die. It's terrible. But yes, the belly has been pierced, and I believe Zagkrag is going to start to bleed out a little bit.
Yeah, Corbeau is pretty much playing this like a Panzer division, or tank division. It's got the tanks moving out now, leading point. And I mean, you can do that against 716 for the 716th, you know, tank players.
Absent.
Prophetic, yeah. Still sad we haven't seen any real mortars, because he really should have focused on getting mortars once B-phase hits. Because if you can just get out like a bunch of them, you can effectively combat the Wolverines. You can easily kill the Shermans at long range. Really, those
sorry, Pack 43 for a second. We're gonna have a Death Star moment here. Aiming right down the southern road.
You better not miss.
Oh dear, come on, my friend. He's not gonna see him again. Oh, come on, that was gift wrapped.
I know. It's such a shame.
He's like, dude, I don't really feel like listening to Lit today.
It was an immobile target. I mean, with like a Pack 43 too, you know. I mean, like the sighting reticle is just it's so tight because it shoots so bloody far. It's not like you have to like aim up 90 degrees.
No. If anything, you just aim down. The ground is a lot easier to hit. Gravity is a helpful woman.
Yeah.
And glider spam coming on through now, so we're seeing all of these gliders, and yeah, they're just mass wave attack, internal fire. There we go. So the Pack 43 says, I got another chance. I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm shooting you in the side.
Yeah.
I think it might be a kill shot. Thank you.
There we go. I love seeing those Pack 43s out. It's because it's always such complete overkill. Yeah, I mean, it's perfect overkill because you'll penetrate everything, essentially. Oh, and Messerschmitt goes down. But it did kill a Thunderbolt, yeah, which is pretty good for the Messerschmitt. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's decent-ish trade. But yeah, the Pack 43, it's so much fun. It's so powerful, you know, great accuracy. It's the AT gun, it does not mess around.
Easy on the eyes. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
I love seeing that big 22 because you know it means business. You know, he'd be a pretty terrible blackjack player.
Oh, that would be pretty accurate, wouldn't it? The Pack 43 is pushed back, but not before taking its pound of flesh. Or was that? Maybe that was the Panzer B2 that was able to hit the M10 in the side.
Oh, it was the pack gun.
Okay.
And that all fire on the pack gun. It's going to be able to get out, which is good for him. But yeah,
22 armor pen. Good God.
Yeah, but Corbeau's at the +2. He's pushing hard. I mean, he's out infantry spamming 7/16 with glider rifles. That's a lot of glider rifles, man.
Honestly, the stuff that should never work.
I know. You usually see with a lot of 101st players is they just usually ignore glider rifles. You only take like 1 card worth. Or it seems like Corbeau's took like 2 cards at least, and it also has the engineer, so he has quite a lot of B-phase infantry slots in his deck. Where usually with 101st, most people do. Well, I notice. Just focus on getting A-phase guys and just making those A-phase guys last.
Can we note real quick that there's the M10 that just blew up to the south, used all of its armor-piercing ammo. I'm surprised, because I didn't think there was enough hard targets for them to use up 40. Yeah, it was all gone.
I got ammo here.
You know what? Don't argue with me in terms of logic. Finally, at long last, the anti-air half-track for the Americans went down to the south.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I remember I was going to make a comment about before too. The thing that was surprising about the glider rifles was that they really are the American Bren groups. They really are, if you think about it.
But they
largely worthless.
But they actually survive. Our Bren groups die really quickly.
The only reason the glider rifles survive at all is because there's 12 of them.
Exactly. Well, like Bren groups like Findle Ray or Visual Rain, like 2 shots from a Panzergren.
As is their way.
As is their way.
Let's see.
And also the Bren group actually does more damage. Because it's like, I mean, okay, so the bar is, I'd prefer the bar over the Bren gun, because the bar can actually shoot under 100 meters, so it's actually still useful if you're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still, I mean, glider rifles are always such, I mean, they're just here to get shot at.
Well, I do have good news, despite the fact that the Germans are languishing under a +2. They have been able to take the forest to the north.
That's pretty good.
They just haven't taken anything else, is the problem.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, 7/16, it's slow. I mean, it's moving up now up north, but those flak guns are going to take forever to get to the front line. Lorraine's actually moving pretty fast, and the Panzer B2s need some infantry in front, but the infantry is slowly walking up to try and help out. And no, what are you doing there? Why are you charging the Panzer B2 into an obvious death trap? That was not a smart move.
Well, that's like, Flak 88 says, like, no, don't worry, dude, I got this. I can shell them from long range.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we are approaching above 1720 to 0. Zagkrag is getting completely zeroed out, and I don't see any way that's going to be reversed at all.
Same.
I am surprised that Freiwillige have only getting called in now with about 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think up north, I mean, it made sense doing the Pioneer spam. That helped out a lot. I saw he had 1 or 2 Freiligas, whatever. Italians down south. But he was really just banking on the Flak 88, which inevitably get destroyed, because Flak 88s can kill stuff, but they always die because they're just such high priority targets.
Yes, sir.
And you can't really run away when you're moving like a multiple ton. Yeah, I don't know the actual tonnage. Anti-tank, anti-8, flak gun. I don't know how heavy a Flak 88 is. It must be pretty beefy. Like, I'd say like over 5 tons.
As I say, I used to actually know that. I couldn't tell you anymore, but using a multi-editor to actually, drag it around, yeah, that thing is supremely heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also kind of embarrassing, too, when your anti-air stuff starts to get killed by other guys' non-anti-air stuff.
Yeah. Down south is just, geez, yeah, Corbeau's playing as like a Panzer division at the end, using M15s as like light
Panzer 2s.
Like Panzer 2s, recon cars just leading the way, while the M10s do the killing if there's actually any tanks to kill. But there's no tanks to kill, so the M15s are perfect.
Yeah, that's just a suppression monster. Good God.
And Corbeau's meant to play this match without getting a single actual artillery piece. It's just the off map, which is classic Corbeau. He didn't like do a tank rush early on, so that's definitely, a change in play style.
True, and looking at the kills to losses here, looking about 800 difference. So, Zagkrag losing about a third more. No, excuse me, actually 50% more from his angle, but Corbeau losing about 2/3 of his opponent, and that's kind of reflected in the history.
Yeah, and in terms like kills and losses, there's not much. There's nothing really too crazy. It's pretty even out, to be honest. But even though, like, once again, I always say, like, 7/16 is the worst division to play. Zags played it pretty well, considering he was playing the worst division in game. He got the Lorraine spam, and the Lorraine was on point. It's just, once you have to rely on the Flak 88, it's just, it can be tough.
True. I would have liked to seen some of his more elite infantry coming on in a little sooner than the last, gasp of the game.
Yeah, and you also, like, when you want to push, you have to push before you actually want to push, because the push takes so long to actually push with, if you catch my drift.
Yes.
You got to pre-push before you know how to push. Also mortars. He really needed to get some mortars, because he let that whole tank spam get out of control. And it's not too hard to stop 101st tank spam, because actually don't get that many tanks. Corbeau just, there's no AT guns to really stop him, so the tank spam worked well.
Yeah, exactly. So 7/16th players out there, please do note, if you want to push, you must take the EA approach to pushing. You must sell the push before the push is even an idea on the market.
Exactly. That's pretty accurate 7/16th description.
So if you want to be EA, play 7/16th. If you want to be somebody good, then don't play 7/16th.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll be back on Thursday with some more great action for you. I don't know where we're going, and I'm not sure we know where we're going either, but we're going somewhere. That's
we're going somewhere.
All right. So, folks, we'll see you all then. I am Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.